Alright, this is deck 3. Maybe we can actually get a VOD going now. So this is my third time recording it. Talk some. This is my first actual VOD review without like sitting in voice chat with someone and watching the VOD at the same time. So far in this one, I have seen some really good comms for bronze games. I don't know if it's the Roku. I don't know if you're getting lucky, but there's been like 3 or 4 people talking in comms about what they play and what to play and everything so far, which is really nice and helpful. I didn't get very far, just kind of at the beginning of this game, and I shared my thoughts on your thoughts that you're having as you're at the hero select screen. I'm going to go ahead and play through that again and talk about my thoughts on the composition that you currently have, your thoughts about how you're going to play in it, and my thoughts and opinions on where they differ and where they agree and all that kind of stuff. And then once we're done there, I'll continue to watch through the game, give advice on the plays that you're making or not making, and if I hear any more of the self-reflecting thoughts that I've heard so far, I will share my opinion on those as well. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and start playing.
Here. So Moira's a good healer. We'll have a shield tank. So Zarya will be able to bubble that too. I will have to be Anna. It's a good.
Never stop fighting for what you believe.
It's a good pick because Doomfist is going to be out. He'll be out on his own.
So it's good you're having these thought processes here.
Dr. Boom.
Oh. So he's going to be kind of in and out. I'll have to be able to hit him with shots. So I'm going to be basically focusing on DPS, while Moira is going to be ideally focusing on tanks with Zarya bubbling to help that out. So we're starting at, I think it was 1324 SR.
Alright, so here's what I want to touch on. Let's get back to where we have the select screen here. Alright, so you talked about Moira hopefully healing the tanks. That is something that you shouldn't really assume, even if it is kind of in a, well, maybe they won't kind of way. That should like never ever cross your mind. In anywhere probably below 2700 SR, I would say, from personal experience, heal like you're a solo healer. Even if, which it can't happen anymore with Roku, but even when I had the possibility of having like 3 other healers on my team, I would heal like I'm a solo healer. That's like, you have to have a carry mindset in this elo. You cannot climb without a carry mindset in this elo. This elo is full of people that make very poor decisions very selfishly. This Moira, she may prove me wrong, but my initial thought, Moira's going to DPS, flank, ignore tanks, ignore DPS, do her own thing. I'm going to have to keep the tanks up and help my DPS some. The good thing is you don't have to have your DPS a whole lot. Reason being, Soldier's self-sufficient. He will be on flanks. He will have his healing pad. He'll be able to use his shift to get to cover easily. If he does get low, he'll be able to drop his E down whenever he starts to get low and hide in cover and heal up. Hide behind cover and heal up, anything like that. Your Doomfist, which this is a bronze Doomfist, so assumptions are being made, should be able to dive in with you healing him some, roll back out and get healed back up, or do a rollout towards a health pack. He should be semi-sufficient, and you shouldn't have to worry about hard focusing him. With all that said, you know, we're assuming that the Moira is not going to heal like she said. That's our assumption going into this. The Moira is going to flank. She's going to throw damage orbs instead of healing orbs. She's not going to heal like she should. So, you know, what do we do about that if that does happen? Well, you know, you will focus the tanks yourself. You keep the tanks up. You can throw nades into your team instead of the enemy team. and whatever the Moira does heal will have more heal value out of it. So, because your nade landed on enemies, heals and increases healing output for a period of time. So you will be healing your team, and if the Moira does happen to heal them, they will get even more heals. You will be building your nano as you focus the tanks, keeping them up. They will be your ultimate resource for building nano. Whenever you do have nano, I would say it's probably half and half between these two. For nano targets, I would say nano soldier when he has tech visor and he's in a good position to get good use out of tech visor. If he's standing directly in front of a shield, a DM, anything like that, then he isn't going to get a whole lot of value out of his tech visor. Sorry, my brain farted just then. Doomfist, on the other hand, he is also a good nano target. Whenever he goes in, you can nano him, and a lot of times Doomfist can come up with 3 or 4 kills off of a nano because they're so fucking tanky. They get their shields, they get the nano damage reduction, they get the extra damage, they just fucking fly in and knock some people around and shotgun them at close range, and next thing you know, everything is dead. So ultimately what you want to look at here is healing your tanks, keeping them up, using them as nano resource, and then situationally nanoing your Doom and your soldier depending on what the situation requires. If soldier has tech visor, look to see if soldier can get a good tech visor. If soldier can't get a good tech visor, tell your Doom that you're going to nano him and tell him to go in. Your only other nano target in this comp will be Zarya. That one is like a extreme use situation where you need to save her with high charge. She is the only one that's in a good position. Your Doom can't go in. Your soldier doesn't have tech visor. She has high charge. She has grav. Go ahead, pop the nano on her. She pops her grav. She has high charge. She has nano damage boost. She's going to fucking melt everyone that's in the fucking grav. But that is more situational than nanoing either Doom or soldier. Your Moira, we're going to assume, is a below 3k Moira, below 2k Moira at that. Moiras play selfishly. That is going to be our assumption throughout this game. If I see otherwise in the VOD, I will change my advice based on that. But this advice will be, for right now, we're going off of you have a healer that probably isn't going to help you heal much. So let's go ahead and move on forward with some gameplay here.
At, I think it was 1324 SR.
Get back in the fight.
5, 4, 3, 2, no sniper. Attack
That was a good check to look to see if there was a sniper or not.
We got a Reaper in me.
It's a low percentage sleep, so I'm not going to throw it. Zarya's alone, so I'm going to work with her.
I can't figure out why this is so jerky, but
Maze dropped.
it was a good idea to keep up with your Zarya. It's good calling out your antis. I don't know how to work with this VOD being so laggy.
I wanted that to hit the ground.
I'll do my best.
Mechanic. I gotta work soldier, Ryan, I don't have sleep, but he's a main sleep priority. I should have seen a soldier. Main sleep up top.
It's a good sleep, good call out on it.
Anna's hammered. Anna's up. Heals are coming in on point, don't worry. 20 heals, 20 heals.
Yep, just pump into your Zarya there.
Go on it, go on it.
I don't know where Reaper is.
I've grabbed.
You have really good callouts, dude.
I have Reaper.
That wasn't the best sleep just then. You're doing good on using your nade for healing your team, and you're doing good on your callouts for what's happening with your nades and your sleeps and everything.
Reaper's low. You can get him, Doom. To your right, on point.
Yeah, so far, you are doing really good on calling out your nades. Just in case you couldn't hear me over top of the game volume, I should probably turn that down actually a little bit more. You call out your nades really good. You call out flanks really good. You have really good awareness actually, in my opinion. It's awareness you would typically see out of someone much higher than you. Much higher SR than you. The other thing I've seen is, there was a couple iffy sleeps thrown out. You're doing good on your nades. You're using them defensively and offensively. You get a lot of value out of them defensively in this rank because, like I said, it's more healing output and people don't know how to keep themselves alive, so more healing is always a good thing. They're also good offensively because people don't know how to defend themselves, so you can get some good offensive nades in and just really punish the enemy team because they can't heal. So let's move forward on in the VOD some. By the way, so your team was winning this fight, it looked like. Now let me see what was left here. I'm just trying to what ended you up in this position.
I don't know where Reaper is. I have Reaper.
Yeah, like you just threw that sleep into that shield, I believe. Looked like it to me. I mean, the VOD is lagging a little, but that's what it appeared like.
Nano's close.
Dude, calling out that your nano's almost ready.
Reaper's low. You can get him, Doom. To your right, on point.
Okay, you got boof back here. I missed that.
Good kill. Ryan is asleep. Ryan is anti. Ryan is anti.
It's really good callouts.
You're going to be okay.
I have Nano for next fight. Soldier, get ult. We're gonna combo that.
All right, good job looking to see who had ult and, calling out that you're going to use it and everything.
Diver. She's low. There you go. They're staggered.
When you do it, I'll pop. They're so staggered.
Base above on gas station.
It's a good call out.
He's gonna be behind
Sleep
everybody now.
probably wouldn't have been very good. I would have just taken cover. Called out that the Mei was top, and then just immediately ran behind the cover here. Like the Mei was going to be right here. I would have just been here healing into my team from the high ground position, which is good, that you can make good use of that. As soon as I saw the Mei coming, I would have been out there behind cover. There was no reason. You don't get anything out of contesting her. If you do make that sleep, cool. There'd be a 6 sleep. It might help win the team fight or something. But all in all, it's not worth the value of the sleep. You've already called out where the Mei is. The team is already aware of it. I think I believe even one other person called out that the Mei was top. So her situation is known. You should head for cover and work your way around to your team. Maybe even in this situation, because if you go for that cover, you won't be able to heal. Might even have been a good idea, because I'm pretty sure their Orisa is dead at this point. The Ana's dead. It's mainly the Mei flanking on top. It might have been a good idea even to just drop down and hide behind this little rock formation here and heal into your team this way. So it's just something to be aware of. Sometimes contesting isn't the best option, especially, I mean, even as DPS, sometimes it's better to not contest and leave them be and call out where they are and what's happening, but move to a more advantageous event, bleh, you know what I'm saying, position for yourself. Advantageous position for yourself. There we go. All right, so let's move forward in the bot some.
Just go there. Just go there.
Let me get
Base
rid of that
above,
arrow.
base above on gas station. She's gonna be behind everybody now.
No line. Base it.
So I have to off.
Yeah, I'm coming on me.
Base.
Mark, base down. Base. Nice. Oh, I just got slapped.
Done. Chase him, chase him, chase him. I got you on heals.
Yo, I thought he was gonna run into a wall.
So I don't want to be there.
This would be so much easier to review if it wasn't so laggy. I'm sorry, dude.
High left.
Devious strike's
Reaper
on
and
me.
May, Doom.
I don't know if like something went bad with your upload or if it's my recording or if it's my playback, but it's just jerking everywhere. So I'm trying to catch big plays.
May's low, May's low, May's low.
It's good throwing your nade in there. You probably kept your Sigma alive.
I got hooked.
They don't really.
I'm coming to you, soldier.
I just got hit.
The run is the only thing you really have to worry about with blocking Tech Visor. So you're kind of free on using Tech Visor as long as you know the Rhine isn't in the equation.
May Reiner behind us now on payload.
I just like so much I completely missed that flank just then. Like I didn't see it happening. I should have been able to see the May like coming around and everything, but you just lag so hard here in the VOD.
So May Reiner behind us now on payload.
But that was just your team should have either called out the flank or there should have been more awareness to where the May and the Rhine were going and coming from. I couldn't really. It's hard for me to keep track with how laggy the VOD is. Sorry, this can't be more detailed because of that. Otherwise, I'd be bringing up points of like watching enemy movements and everything. But it's hard for me to watch the enemy movements in this VOD myself. So that's what it looks like when you play all the time. Then bless you, son. If it's just something wonky with the recording, then I'm sorry that the VOD can't be a little bit better.
Awareness,
I have grab.
head up.
Yo, I'm getting back. I'm getting back.
I got sucked in.
Yeah, I think I just heard you mention that that we gotta have a little bit better awareness, and you recognize that the really and truly both the Rhine and the May got into position they shouldn't have been in without someone saying something or someone reacting to it or anything. So it's good that you can respond to that kind of stuff.
Probably soldier and
I mean, I'm kind of caught.
It's mate. It's charging. Oh, here's Lucio. Lucio
So
down.
we have a lot of ults already.
Heal.
I'm dead. I would wait to go.
I fell, that's not good.
Yeah, you have grab time, right? Oh,
I see heals.
Reaper and May are up top.
This is so lagged, I can't keep track of what's going on.
Ryan's out of position.
Go Ryan, go Ryan, go.
I'm trying to stun him.
Alright, so
Okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and stop recording this.
aggressive is
Hopefully
bad.
what I have so far will help you some.
Alright, we should push now.
I mean, I don't know, maybe I should skip forward in and see if it stays like this. Like, I actually can't VOD review that.
Way far in behind. No! Oh, God!
Who'd you say?
kind of position.
They go off the
Actually, let me
road.
listen to you here.
So I can't really influence who picks who. I'm not in that kind of position.
Yeah. So you can you can't tell anyone who to pick, but an M gun leader is usually huge, and you don't really tell people what to play. You don't say anything. You can just talk about a comp that you think will be good to run. You mention heroes that you think will be good. If people pick them, then great. If they don't, then at least you tried. You know? You can't control what people play. You can only play around them and play to the best of your ability and to your strong suits and play around your team. But it never hurts to at least talk out loud to your team, do what you're doing while muted or while off of mic, do with your team. You know, just be like, we're running this is working, this isn't working, they're running this, can we run this into them instead? You know, just think out loud, have that internal conversation external. Maybe your team will start switching and start communicating and start working with you more to make the match more possible.
My positioning could be better. My sleeps could definitely be better. There's a lot that I'm using, especially with Anna. I need that utility.
Punch goes, go there.
Mechanics on aiming can always be worse. I miss some mercy shots.
Yeah, I mean, so aiming mechanics can always be improved, like for everyone ever. You know, that's not something to worry about. You don't need to worry about aim pretty much at any point. Your aim will constantly improve as you keep playing, and as long as you're willing to improve and grind. Never worry about how good your mechanics are. Focus on your positioning, your ult usage, with Anna specifically, your nade and sleep usage. Nade and sleep are almost ult level utilities in this game. Sleep and nade can win games. Getting huge antis can win games. Getting huge ally nades, I don't know what to call them, but just the healing boost, getting those big at the right moment can win games. Sleeping the right enemy player at the right time can win games. Like an ulting Genji, an ulting Pharah, etc. Getting your sleeps and nades on point and the timing of them and the usage of them and your positioning are what you need to worry about in improving your Ana play. Mechanics will come as you play. The more you play, the better your mechanics will get. Your aim will just naturally get better. Refining your sensitivity, refining your play style, all of that will come with time. You have to improve your actual game sense and the way you play rather than how you mechanically play. Those are always the first things to improve.
Stick to the plan. And if you get into trouble,
So it doesn't seem to be too laggy in team fights, but
So
Plans to make the Bayon
a lot
solo
of the same
boss.
comp, more damage with Zenyatta. I don't like.
okay. So you're talking about the comp now, how you have more damage with the Zenyatta, you know. So now is the time that you'll help your Zenyatta some, keeping him up.
Yeah, right there.
You'll help keep your Zenyatta up some. Try to sleep for him and everything. What's best to do for the Zenyatta in this situation is try to keep Orb either on you or on Doom. Doom will be going in. Orb will be able to keep him up whenever he dives and give him some healing when he goes in. Reaper will have self-heal. You can help him with his, like help keep him sustained. He'll be able to sustain himself with his self heal. And again, you have even more potential to get a ton of healing out of your tanks in order to get a lot of nanos to burst up your a lot of burst healing out of your tanks to get your nanos to feed to your DPS to allow them to do more damage and pop off more. And with this current situation, neither of your tanks are really a good nano target in my opinion. Your best nano target is Doomfist or Reaper if he has Blossom.
How are you supposed to
DPS might be an issue, so D.Va's really going to have to DPS dive. We're really going to have to attack the back line.
Oh no. Oh no.
So we're really going to have to attack the back line and go after squishies with what we have.
Yeah. That's why I'm heading up here.
Yeah, and that's good, that's good.
I gotta wait for my cooldown.
That's a good call to target the back line. It's always a good idea to target the back line. Like, always a good call.
Oh, so close to getting Lucio.
Let's go Reaper. Reaper behind us. Reaper behind us.
That's a good sleep on the Genji. That's a good hold here. It's good. Your Zenyatta discorded him, so you're able to finish him off there.
See if I can actually make the Lucio hit.
Oh, that was too low. God damn it.
Did you or someone else wake him up whenever you slept him though?
I got
Reaper up.
Oh, so close to getting Lucio.
Reaper up. Let's go Reaper. Reaper behind us. Reaper behind us.
Okay, you woke him up. You should have left him sleeping and let one of your DPS know that he was sleeping and just leave him laying there. At least it looks, from this it looks like you slept him and then woke him up. So just leave him sleeping in that situation. Call out that he's sleeping and leave him back there. You will know he's back there, your team will know he's back there. Say, Genji's sleeping. Try to give a little bit better of, than just behind, say, maybe like near cliff. Genji sleeping near cliff, and leave him sleeping. Your team will know where he is. Your Zenyatta could come over and volley into his head. Your Reaper could come over and headshot his head. Something like that could happen. It's always better to do that than to try to take care of it yourself.
I got Genji.
Reset back up. I'm gonna shield
See if I can actually make the Lucio hit.
Oh, that was too low.
Diving.
God
I'm
damn
gonna
it.
try and say a little bit more of my thing.
Reaper up top, right?
So that's probably not the best ability to use there.
This is something, right? Go on
Oh, I
in.
can't.
Especially if we win it now.
Who's behind us?
Still asleep. I have someone. But I feel like I need to hold that.
You're going to be okay.
Mana's ready.
Not. Oh god.
So I went to look for the
Oh,
same
that's
turret.
not good.
Well, I actually couldn't see how you weren't able to hit that sleep
Mana. I got hit with that.
because you had your sleep
Not.
up.
Oh god.
But I feel like I need to hold that.
You're going to be okay.
Like you say, you need to hold it. You have sleep,
Ready?
and then also insta die.
Not. Oh god.
You were tabbed and didn't see him. Is that what happened?
I went down.
I'm not sure what happened there with that Reaper, but you definitely should have slept him in that situation.
I'm gonna fall back to like
But I
back
kept
here.
mine
I don't wanna feed.
Leave your alone.
Yeah, that's so close mode.
Feeling better?
I might go ahead and skip to the end to see if you do more talking, so that way maybe I can share my thoughts to go with your thoughts. It's kind of hard to
She's dead.
review this otherwise with how laggy things are.
Not a good option looking at
Old soldiers.
They're way better.
especially when she already used the matrix.
How far up we want to move here?
Not that far.
As close as possible.
Yeah, we want to be like very close to the win point.
My ultimate is ready.
Where is that? We got it?
Yeah, we have Reaper on.
Reaper behind, Reaper behind, Reaper behind.
This is a very close game.
Very well.
Come on. We do so much SR for this.
So, how do I think? Positioning, mechanics.
Yeah, I just lost 30.
Oh, look at me, boys. Oh.
I'm going to listen to see if you say anything else. I heard positioning, mechanics. And if by mechanics you mean when to use nade,
Good sleeps out of that.
should got some good sleeps out of that. I think I heard ability management. Okay. Yeah, so you're kind of touching on the right things. If you mean mechanics as in aim, you don't need to worry about that. If you mean mechanics as in when to use nano, when to use sleep, when to use nade, that kind of stuff, it's good that you're being aware of that, because that is what makes Anna strong and how you'll be able to make the most use out of Anna. Sorry that this is shorter. I would have done play-by-play on literally the entire game, but the VOD was so laggy that there's no way I could have kept track of team fights and what was going on in them and who was going where and all that. I fully planned on breaking down team fights, talking about where you could have positioned, how you could have been more beneficial to your team in different positions, that kind of stuff. It was too laggy for me to be able to do that. So I guess this is kind of turned into more of a watching what I can and listening to you share your thoughts and me sharing my thoughts on your thoughts. But all in all, you have really good thought process. You have really good sense for the game. I think game sense needs work, but you have the sense and the logic to say, hey, I need to be playing like this and making these plays instead of what I'm doing. We need to be aware of, what the team is running. Okay, I need to look at my team and see what they're running, what I can do with them. I think what really needs refined is just more understanding of the game. Like you need more understanding of the heroes and how they play between each other and with each other and that kind of stuff. And you need to worry less about mechanics and how good your aim is and that kind of stuff, and worry more about using your abilities wisely, using your ultimates wisely, and wisely targeting the right people in your team. As Anna, fucking spam the tanks. Get those nanos built up. Whenever you see a DPS in an advantageous position, or if you know someone on your team is putting in more work than the other, pump the nanos into them at prime times to win a fight. Don't use them loosely, unless you're just building them really fucking fast. Use them when you know it will sway the fight. Sleep a Rhine or a random target, like just sleep into the enemy team when you know it doesn't matter too much. Otherwise, hold your sleeps for flankers, for times when someone is about to use an ability and you have to interrupt it. When someone's about to use an ultimate and you have to interrupt it. Keep your nades, use them offensively whenever your team is full on health and you don't really need to top them off. If your team is getting low, pop a nade down, hope that you have a Lucio or a Moira or something that can take advantage of the heal boost off of that. keep up the comms. Like I said, even share your thought process with your team. You know, if you're thinking anything of like, hey, this comp might be good to run, talk that out with your team. It never hurts to try. They might end up running it. You know, you never know. Other than that, I think you are definitely on the right path, and you're definitely thinking the right things and wanting to do the right things. You just need a little bit more refinement, and maybe I'll check out the next VOD and it won't be as laggy, and I can do a better, fuller VOD review like I wanted to do. Or maybe you can figure out why your VODs are being so laggy, and you can record a better one in a week or something, and I'll be able to do a good VOD review on that one. Apologize that I couldn't really review this one well. Hopefully what I have said will help you some, and everything else. So, have a good one, buddy.